You're posting content every week, you're putting in the reps, but somehow you're still not getting the clients that you know you should be getting. Most coaches think their problem is either in their equipment or their background, or even in things like their offer or a lack of a content schedule. But actually, none of that is the real problem. The real problem is you're not making contents for a real person. You're making content for an idea of a person or a demographic of people. And that's why it doesn't convert. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we can fix that right now. Very quickly, why can I actually help you with this? I used to work fully one-on-one as a growth operator beside a fitness coach, and we were starting from scratch, from $0 made, and he was at 8K followers back then. We treated each other as business partners, right? I was in there for everything, the DMs, the content, the sales calls, the offer, the backend stuff. Every stage of speaking to and getting someone who is unhappy with their physique or their fitness and turning them into high-ticket clients, I was there. See, personally for me, fitness has always been my anchor, right? I love the process of becoming a better version of myself through fitness. The gym, working out the boys, looking jacked, looking sick, the whole culture around it. And when I realized I resonated with coaches who want to turn their passion for fitness into a living, into an actual real income, that became my ICP. I was just drawn naturally towards it. The step-by-step frameworks I'm walking you through today, I built them up for myself and my clients, and these are still things that I use to this day. And these are the results that my clients have gotten from it. So let's get into it. So before we get into the steps, I want to cover some misconceptions that a lot of fitness coaches have when it comes to finding their target audience or their brand messaging. First of all, I need to target rich people so that they can afford my coaching. It is never about who has the money. It's all about the way you position yourself and the messaging that you have in your content. If you position your offer correctly, the price conversation with your leads are just going to be way easier because they understand who you are as a person already. They know what you can provide for them, and they trust you enough to even have a conversation and consider what you have to offer. If all you're doing is just chasing income brackets instead of trying to resonate with your audience, your content will feel so hollow, and that doesn't convert well at all. Now, the second misconception is I need to niche down and only speak to one person who is my ICP. Right? If you're hyper niching in your short form, it kills your reach before you have even started. But at the same time, if you're overly broad with your messaging, you'll not be resonating with anyone at all, right? Your content should attract both a wider cast of people, but at the same time also speaking directly to your ICP and knowing that your ICP lives within the broader messaging in the first place. And I'll explain this more in depth later in the video. The third misconception is I should avoid talking about myself because people only care about what I can do for them. This is fitness coaching, okay? This is not money-making niche, this is not SaaS, this is not TikTok shop. Your values, your life, your story, they all matter, and people need to trust you as a person first before they even pay you as a coach, right? You have to understand that on a very deep level when you are in this fitness coaching scene, okay? You cannot just hide behind value-only contents because that is the exact reason why your audience feels like there's no real connection between both of you. So the last misconception is I need to post about fitness 24/7 or my audience won't know what I do. Your brand should be built around you, not just the people that you help, okay? Yes, you do need to post content and showing your expertise and how you can help people, but variety is what makes people relate to you as a person, as a human, and not just consume your content as information source. The goal is to have followers who follow you because of you, not just people who save your Instagram reels and they'll bookmark your tips and they'll come back to it whenever they need help, right? You know that those aren't actually going to help people, right? You need to be able to just build a cult of fans, right? I think that's the best way to put it. People that genuinely like you and align with your values and the way you see the world. Here's where it gets interesting though, because even coaches who understand all four of these misconceptions, they still end up with content that doesn't convert. Why? And the reason why comes down to the one thing that they skipped at the very beginning, okay? Let me show you the long-term approach, right? This is the core frame you want to have going forward with your content. You want to be able to find the overlap between someone you genuinely want to help for the next year or so, someone who actually has the buying power, someone whose problems you actually understand, and someone who aligns with your values and interests. Okay, most coaches, they pick a niche or they pick a target audience based on what they think will make them the fastest money or the most amount of money. That's why they burn out, okay? They are talking to people they don't actually care about. The real question that you need to ask yourself is, can you create content for this person without getting bored? Right? Do you share values or interests? Would you actually be fulfilled on a day-to-day basis to help them get to their goals? These are the things that you need to ask yourself and really be intentional about who you're targeting, because this is basically going to be your business, right? This is going to be your life and your livelihood for the next however many years you want to do your fitness coaching business. And I gave you the example earlier where fitness has been my own anchor in my life. And when I found out that there's a lot of fitness coaches out there who has the same passion as me, I realized I have the talents and I have the passion for the business side of things, right? For someone who's actually operating behind the scenes and helping these exact people that I love to work with scale higher and higher. So when you find that overlap, okay, content becomes natural to you. My messaging gets so much clearer. You'll find that the right people will start coming over to your page and actually interacting with you as a coach. Let's build that overlap right now. So step one is to find your niche. Okay, this is where we start, right? Not with your audience, but with you. Okay, I want you to ask yourself two questions and write them down. What are you doing currently in your life? And what is your specific approach to fitness? Okay, for example here, right? What are you doing currently? If you're working a 9 to 5, that's something that you can leverage in your content. If you're training for a marathon and if you're going all in the fitness coaching, right? You're basically an entrepreneur now. So you can talk about things that you experience in your day-to-day life on building a fitness coaching business, right? If you're a student studying psychology and you manage to link back what you learned in psychology into mindset, into how people can change their self-image, you can talk about this more fancier terms, right? Whatever makes sense for you and is something that you're doing currently, it's probably going to be a great angle for you to talk about in your contents, because people can see that you are actually living what you are saying and living or preaching what you're saying. Okay, secondly, what is your specific approach to fitness, right? This means what unique mechanism, what is the unique way you approach fitness. For example, if you're someone who likes a hybrid style of training, right? I have a client, Miles, who we just hit 35K a month recently. He likes to do running and lifting. That's an approach to fitness he himself does, and that's why he's able to share, and a lot of people can resonate with his messaging, the way he motivates people to get into the hybrid training. And these are not generic answers, by the way. You want to be very specific with how you actually help people. Are you someone who, who likes the hybrid training? They like athletic training, right? Where it's more focused on the joints, the injury prevention and whatnot. Or are you more of a just natural bodybuilding route where you want to just get someone to look aesthetic and jacked? And on the other side, there's also things like the way you teach dieting, right? Are you someone who is very strict, right? They want to be very calculative and like tracking macros, tracking calories and whatnot? Or are you someone who wants to share about the freedom with eating, right? As long as you're training hard enough, as long as you are expending a lot of energy, right? You can have a lot more freedom with the way you eat. You don't have to track your calories. Like, what is your specific approach, right? You just have to position yourself in a way where you are speaking to that person, to that one ICP, and have consistent themes and messaging in your content when you talk about fitness. So now I'll show you a worksheet that I have here, and I want you to pause the video first and write this out before you keep watching. Okay, this is the foundation. Every step builds on top of it, and I want you to have full clarity by the end of the video for you to actually find your brand's messaging. Okay, so what are you doing currently and what is your specific approach to fitness? But here's the problem that most coaches run into next. Knowing your method is completely useless if you don't know who you're actually solving it for. And I mean really know on an in-depth level on what they're going through and how you can help them solve their problems. Not the surface level demographic answers, okay? The real one, the things that cuts deep into people's soul, right? That is what we were talking about in step 2, which is to find your ICP. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you already know this. ICP is your ideal client profile, who you genuinely like to help as a person. And I'll give you an example of what a bad ICP sounds like. I help men over 30 lose weight and gain muscle. That is a demographic. Okay? That is not truly your ICP. No man who's over 30 and want to lose weight and gain muscle, they are not going to feel like you're the person for them. There's so many fitness coaches out there who does exactly what you do. So it all lies in the level of depth that you can go with your ICP. And by you having such a surface level demographic as an ICP, it tells you nothing about what they're actually going through in their lives. And you're not able to bring the type of people that you want into your page and actually turn them into high paying clients. And I know what you're thinking of right now. I already know who I help. I already know who my ICP is and it's very obvious. That's exactly what every coach says before they work with me, right? The moment I try to dig deeper and I really question them if they understand their ICP on a level deep enough, they can't articulate and communicate clearly to me what their pain really is and what is exactly holding them back and what is going to help them make a decision to change their lives, right? And that surface level of understanding is exactly why every coach's content just sounds the same and looks the same. Because knowing the demographic isn't the same as knowing the person. Okay, these two questions are going to show you the difference. Who do you actually want to spend time with? Right? If you had to talk to this person every week for a year, would you be excited or would you be drained? Right? Do you share values with this person, the lifestyle that you guys have, the work ethic? Right? I give you an example. Again, one of my clients, Miles, he loves the hybrid training of lifting and running. His perfect buyer or ICP is someone who also values that balance, okay? Not just the pure bodybuilding style of training. And that is what we lean on. And it got us so many good leads that just wants to get into hybrid training. And the perfect person to reach out to is my client Miles. Okay. The second question you want to ask is, what problems can you actually solve that they'll have to pay to fix? And you want to be as specific as possible with your answers here. You can think in terms of the time constraints, right? Busy professionals need efficient training. Think about the pain or the injury aspects of things. Adults, right? Especially white collar workers, right? Adults dealing with chronic issues from their desk jobs. It can be performance goals, it can be lifestyle transformations. You want to just be more conscious of what you can actually talk about in your content that they will want your help with. Okay. And the key here is to target the root cause of their problems, not the symptoms. So an example, right? The symptom here is how to lose 15 pounds or how to build your dream physique. But these are all caused by something deeper in their lives, okay? They are not coaching specific problems. Anyone can make a video about losing weight, about losing 15 pounds or building their dream physique. But the root cause of these issues that your ICP is facing, it can be the fact that they are working 60 hours a week and they can't stay consistent, right? They don't have the mental energy to go to the gym. That is a coaching specific problem, right? That is a problem that is unique to your ICP that you're targeting. Symptoms are just surface level problems. The root cause of what people are experiencing and are going through and feel the pain of are what is going to get people to pay high ticket to fix. Okay, and when I mean high ticket, easily 3 to 5 to 8K packages, right, for a fitness transformation. So same thing, I want you to pause the video, right, really think about who your ICP is and the type of people that you want to help and want to attract to your page. Write them down before you move on to the next step. Okay, so now that your ICP is locked in, there's another problem, right? If your content only speaks to that one person, your branding has a ceiling, okay, a really hard ceiling also. And step 3 is about how you can remove it, okay, which is to find your dream followers. Your dream followers essentially is just extracting out topics that are broader but still aligns with what your ICP actually consumes and resonates with. And the reason why we want to target both is because of the total addressable market that each of them have, right? When you're speaking to just your ICP, for example, you limit yourself and you limit the reach of the algorithm of your Instagram account to such a small group of people that you'll never be able to capture so many people at once and build that momentum that you need for your page. But if you speak to not just your ICP, but also your dream followers through your content, okay, your total addressable market just explodes. And inside every dream follower bubble that you have and you're speaking to, there are always going to be your ICPs inside, right? I just had a call with one of my clients about this yesterday. And if you guys know who High Up Wellness is, one of his most viral videos is him trying Coke and Oreo out. And it got him like tens of millions of views. That was a significant turning point for him to get like a lot of followers into his page. But the problem with that is an entertainment reel, right? That is just something that blew up because of the quirkiness, the weird factor of it. But when you are trying to build a fitness coaching business, right? You're trying to build a coaching business, you have to be intentional with the type of video you're putting out. Yes, a video might get tens of millions of views and bring you thousands of followers. But if the content itself doesn't even speak to your dream followers at all, that is not a good piece of content no matter how many followers or views you get. Your dream followers are likely going to people that want to be a better version of themselves, right? People that want to surround themselves with the fitness lifestyle or they're involved with the fitness lifestyle already. And the more traffic you have to your page, the more DM conversations you have with people, the more calls you book, the more closes that you get with your coaching business. Okay. Again, you want to essentially just extract out broader topics that still align with what your ICP consumes. Okay. This will be your approach when it comes to the broadness of your content. Okay. When it comes to the perspective of how you want to view your content going forward. And again, I'll give you an example. A fitness coach's dream followers can easily be people who also consume business content, right? Entrepreneurship stuff, mindset, the lifestyle that comes with being jacked, the personal branding, the finance side of things. All these are topics that you can talk about if you yourself are involved with it. And you'll be able to speak to that broader world of people without losing your core identity, without losing your core messaging of your brand. When you get clear on who you're speaking to with your content, okay, the more clarity you have, the easier time your followers and your customers will relate to you. And true trust is built on your followers' ability to see themselves within you and your journey. Okay, these are 4 questions that you really want to ask yourself and try to spend a lot of time here. Okay, your dream followers is what is going to be your top of funnel engine. It's something that you kind of have to live and die by when you're trying to target a fitness audience because it's such a saturated market that you have to be able to put yourself in front of people, in front of enough people for you to really scale your fitness coaching business up. So the 4 questions are, who are they, right? What's their story? What do they look like? Their current situation, the overall problems that they go through, and you want to summarize their current situation. You want to give the bridge for them to solve the problems and the desired situation in a single transformation. Be clear on your own transformation proof, right? Talk about your life journey. Outline your entire journey from childhood to your present life. What made you become the person you are today and what are the experiences that you went through, right? Talk about your key features and benefits with your specific approach to fitness, right? The stories that you can pull from in your own life. What is the content that you can create that will attract people, but at the same time might repel everyone else too? Now, here's where a lot of people just stop, and I've been guilty of this before, right? They've done the 3 steps. They have understood what their messaging and who they are speaking to, their ICP, their dream followers are, and they think they're ready to create content just based on that. But it's not the case because all these steps are just raw information, right? These are information that you now need to learn how to utilize and leverage into your content. Now that we have absolutely everything we need to create an avatar who we are serving. So now I'll talk about Claude prompt that I have. This is my own example of my market research and my own understanding of my ICP, which in this case is fitness coaches, right? So after you've completed your brand worksheet, you want to put everything into Claude and use this prompt here. For example, for me, you are a world-class brand strategist who specializes in helping online fitness coaches build high-ticket personal brands. Read my brand worksheet below, produce the sharpest possible summary that makes it undeniably clear who I'm targeting, what they're going through, what they want, and why I'm the only person who can help them. Okay, and this will be used for writing, content, pitching on sales calls, briefing my team, right, making every business decision from one unified document. It needs to be specific, visceral, and impossible to misread. And the rest more of the structure of how it's going to be presented to you. And after you have all of this, you want to again paste your brand worksheet here, and you get Claude to give you such a significant part of your market research and your understanding of your niche, your ICP, and your dream followers. Okay, this will help you so much with extracting out ideas for your content and actually having tangible points that you can leverage and knowing that the things that you talk about are going to resonate with your ICP and your dream followers and people that you want to work with and people that you like in general are going to follow you, are going to come into your page. So with all of this, right, with your avatar now locked in, this will become the reference point for every piece of content you can create from here on out. And this is just a quick example of how much content I can talk about and how much clarity I have with my brand now that I have all of this market research at my disposal. So in your case, now that you have the 3 layers of your brand audience mapped out, your niche, your ICP, and your dream followers, here's the truth. Most coaches would watch a video like this, they'll nod along, they'll write down some stuff here and there, but at the end of the day, they always go back to posting the same contents that they were posting before and will be stuck wondering why they can't scale to consistent 10, 20K or even 30K months. Okay, don't be that coach. Now our job is to think about how we can utilize them all and position our core offer as a premium solution to our ICP. Go and do the work, okay? Write down your thoughts, write down what you have learned from this video, fill in the worksheet, right? Fill in the brand worksheet and run the prompt. The results you want, the income, the success, the business that you can truly enjoy, the freedom that you get from this dream business of yours, it all comes from the work that you put in before you hit record, right? Before you actually film your content. You need to have such a clear understanding of who you're speaking to, because that will only help you in every other areas of your business. But if you want to do this work with guidance and literally have me in your corner just guiding you each step of the way, you can DM me anytime on Instagram. Okay, I've been through every single stage of a fitness coaching business. I'm sure I can point you in the right direction. And if you ever need help and if it ever makes sense for us to want to get there faster, right, speed up the process, just hit me up on Instagram, right? The link is in the description. Go and build it. Okay, go and build your dream fitness coaching business. Peace out.